Chosen ones, God says it's time to move. Leave your old life behind for the new blessing. Pause. Breathe. Feel the weight of this moment, as if heaven itself has pressed pause on the chaos of your life to whisper directly to your soul. This is not just another video. This is not a coincidence. This is a divine summons, a sacred invitation from the Creator of the universe, calling you to leave behind the old, the worn, the familiar, and step boldly into the new blessing He has prepared. Picture a radiant door before you, your name etched in golden light, pulsing with promise. Behind it lies your destiny, a life of abundance, purpose, and unshakable peace. But to walk through, you must let go of what's been holding you back. Chosen one, God says it's time to move. Will you answer? You've been sensing it, haven't you? That stirring in your spirit, that quiet nudge telling you the season you're in is shifting. Maybe it's been subtle, a dream that lingers, a conversation that sparked hope, a moment of clarity amid the noise. Or maybe it's been loud. Doors slamming shut, relationships fading, opportunities slipping through your fingers like sand. Whatever it looks like, it's not random. The struggles, the setbacks, the sleepless nights where you wrestled with fear and doubt, they weren't meant to break you. They were divine preparation, chiseling away the old to make room for the new. God has been rewriting your story, and now He's handing you the pen. The question is, are you ready to write the next chapter? This video unveils a unique truth. The fears chaining you to your old life are the very keys to unlocking your greatest breakthrough. Every worry, every what if, every hesitation is a signal that you're standing at the edge of your divine purpose. God isn't asking you to stay comfortable. He's asking you to move, to leave behind the patterns, places, and people that no longer align with the prosperous life He's designed for you. Imagine a scroll unfurling in heaven, your destiny written in light, each word glowing with promises of financial freedom, spiritual awakening, and overflowing blessings. That scroll is yours, but you can't claim it by clinging to the past. The old life, its limits, its lack, its lies, must fall away to reveal the new. Let's talk about that old life for a moment. You know what I mean. It's the job that drains your joy, leaving you exhausted and unfulfilled. It's the relationship that keeps you walking on eggshells, questioning your worth. It's the fear of failure that stops you from starting that business, writing that book, or chasing that dream. It's the voice in your head that says, "You're not enough," or "It's too late." That old life is a house built on sand, and God is calling you to step out before the storm comes. He sees your heart, chosen one. He knows the tears you've cried in secret, the prayers you've whispered when no one else was listening. Every moment of pain, every closed door, every delay was not a punishment. It was a divine redirection. As it says in Isaiah 43:19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" God is doing a new thing in your life right now. Can you feel it? But here's the truth. Moving into your new blessing requires courage. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for every fear to disappear. It's about trusting that God's plan is bigger than your doubts. Think of Abraham, called to leave his homeland for a place he'd never seen. He didn't have a map or a guarantee, just a promise from God. And because he moved, he became the father of nations. Or consider Ruth, who left her familiar world to follow Naomi into the unknown. Her obedience led her to Boaz, to provision, to a legacy woven into the lineage of Jesus. These stories aren't just ancient history, they're blueprints for your faith journey. God is calling you to move, not because you have it all figured out, but because He's already gone ahead of you, preparing a path of divine provision. Let me share a story to make this real. There was a woman named Sarah, a single mother of two, working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. She felt stuck, trapped in a cycle of bills and exhaustion, but deep in her heart she carried a dream. To start a small bakery, a place where her love for baking could bring joy to her community. Fear held her back. What if she failed? What if she couldn't afford it? One night, after another long shift, she prayed, tears streaming down her face, asking God for a sign. The next day, a regular customer at her diner overheard her talking about her dream. This stranger, moved by her passion, offered to connect her with a local business mentor. Within months, Sarah had a business plan, a small loan, and a rented space. Today, her bakery is thriving, not just providing financial freedom, but becoming a beacon of hope in her town. Sarah's story isn't a fairy tale. It's what happens when you trust God's timing and take the first step. Your story could be next. Chosen one, God is funding your vision, just like He funded Sarah's. He's not limited by your bank account, your past mistakes, or the economy. Philippians 4:19 declares, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus." This isn't about chasing wealth for its own sake. It's about stepping into the prosperous life God designed, where your purpose and provision align. But to receive it, you must move. You must release the old to embrace the new. Picture yourself standing at a crossroads, one path leading back to the familiar, the other stretching toward a horizon glowing with possibility. The choice is yours, but God is whispering, "Choose the new, choose me." If this message is stirring your soul, consider supporting our mission through Super Thanks to help us spread this divine provision to more chosen ones like you. Your generosity keeps this light shining, reaching hearts across the globe. And if your spirit is resonating with this call to move, I invite you to declare it right now. Type "I am leaving my old life behind" in the comments below. Let heaven and earth witness your bold yes to your divine purpose. Your declaration is a prophetic act, a signal to the universe that you're ready for your breakthrough. So, what does it mean to move? It's not just about packing your bags or quitting your job on a whim. It's about aligning your actions with God's plan, taking intentional steps toward your destiny. Let me give you 3 specific, practical steps to start this journey today. First, write down one goal for this week that moves you closer to your dream. Maybe it's researching a business idea, signing up for a course, or sketching out a project you've been delaying. Put it on paper, make it real, and pray over it. Second, reach out to someone who inspires you. A mentor, a friend, or even a family member you've lost touch with. Send that text, make that call, and open the door to divine connections. Third, let go of one thing holding you back. It could be a toxic habit, a grudge, or even a cluttered space in your home. Release it with intention, declaring, "I am making room for my new blessing." These steps are simple but powerful. They're not just tasks. They're acts of faith, seeds, planted in the soil of your spiritual awakening. Now, let's address the fear that's whispering, "What if I fail?" Fear is a liar, chosen one. It's the enemy's oldest trick, designed to keep you stuck in the old life. But God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Imagine fear as a shadow, looming large but powerless in the light of God's truth. Every time you take a step, that shadow shrinks. Think of David facing Goliath. He didn't wait for fear to vanish. He moved with a slingshot and a promise. Your slingshot is your faith, and your promise is God's provision. The giant of fear may look big, but it's already defeated. You're not moving alone. God is with you, and His angels are clearing the way. Let's pause for a moment to reflect. You might be thinking, but my situation is different. My past is too messy, my resources too small. Chosen one, God specializes in the impossible. Look at Moses, a man with a stammering tongue and a criminal record, yet God chose him to lead a nation. Or consider Mary, a young girl from a nowhere town, chosen to carry the Savior. Your limitations are not barriers. They're invitations for God to show up. Psalm 23:1 reminds us, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." Your lack is an illusion when you're connected to the source of all abundance. God is ready to pour out divine strategies, unexpected resources, and miraculous connections. But you have to move. You have to trust. Here's another story to inspire you. Michael was a middle-aged man who'd spent years in a dead-end job, feeling like his dreams of becoming a motivational speaker were a childish fantasy. He carried a notebook filled with ideas but never shared them, afraid of rejection. One Sunday, his pastor preached on stepping out in faith, and something clicked. Michael decided to act. He recorded a short video sharing his story and posted it online, trembling with nerves. To his shock, it got thousands of views. A local organization saw it and invited him to speak at their event. Today, Michael travels the country, inspiring others to chase their divine purpose. His move wasn't perfect, but it was obedient. What's the small step God is asking you to take today? As you stand at this crossroads, know that you're not alone. Thousands of chosen souls are watching this video, feeling the same stir in their spirits. You're part of a community, a movement of believers who refuse to stay stuck. Together, we're stepping into personal transformation, leaving behind the old to embrace the new. If you haven't already, like this video to join this sacred journey, and subscribe to stay connected to the flow of divine encouragement. Your subscription isn't just a click, it's a commitment to your prosperous life. But what if the fear you're facing is the very doorway to your divine provision? What if the uncertainty you dread is the canvas where God paints your greatest miracle? The old life taught you to survive, but the new life invites you to thrive. God is calling you to a season of overflow, where your faith unlocks doors you never knocked on, where your obedience draws resources you never earned. In the next part of this message, we'll dive deeper into how to recognize the signs of your new blessing and walk boldly into the destiny God has written for you. Stay with me, Chosen One. Your moment is just beginning. Chosen One, you're still here, standing at the threshold of something sacred. The air around you feels different now, doesn't it? Like a gentle wind carrying whispers of promise, stirring your soul to believe that the new blessing God has prepared is not just a dream, it's your reality, unfolding with every breath you take. Picture a river, its waters sparkling under a golden sun, flowing toward a horizon you can't yet see, but know is yours. That river is your faith journey, and God is guiding its current, leading you to a life of abundance, divine purpose, and unshakable peace. But to step into this flow, you must keep moving. You must trust that every fear, every doubt, every what if is not a wall. It's a doorway to your breakthrough. God says it's time to leave the old life behind. Are you ready to cross over? Let's talk about what's on the other side of that radiant door with your name etched in light. It's not just a new job, a new relationship, or a new bank balance, though those may come. It's a new you. A version of yourself that walks in quiet confidence, no longer haunted by the shadows of scarcity or self-doubt. This is the you who dreams without fear, who speaks with authority, who gives generously because you know your source is endless. This is the you God saw when he formed you in the womb. As Jeremiah 1:5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Your old life was a cocoon, necessary for a season, but now it's time to break free and soar into your divine destiny. But moving forward means recognizing the signs of your new blessing. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he whispers, and his whispers are hidden in the ordinary. A chance encounter, an unexpected email, a sudden burst of courage to try something new. These are divine appointments, not coincidences. Think of Elijah in 1 Kings 19, who expected God in the wind or the earthquake, but found him in a still, small voice. Your new blessing may look like a small step, a conversation, an idea, a moment of clarity, but it's laced with heaven's power. Pay attention, chosen one. As you act on the 3 steps I shared, writing your goal, reaching out to someone, and letting go of what holds you back, you'll start to notice these signs. They're breadcrumbs leading you to a feast of divine provision. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're the woman who wrote down her goal to start a blog about her faith journey. This week, you take the first step. You buy a domain name and draft your first post. It feels small, maybe even insignificant, but as you pray over it, you feel a spark of joy you haven't felt in years. A few days later, you reach out to an old friend who's a writer, and she offers to help you edit. Then, while cleaning out your desk, you let go of old journals filled with self-doubt, declaring, "I'm making room for my new blessing." These actions aren't random, they're aligning you with God's plan. Suddenly, you get an email from a local church, inviting you to share your story at their women's event. That's not luck. That's divine strategy, orchestrating your personal transformation. But here's where the enemy tries to trip you up. As you move toward your prosperous life, fear will whisper, "You're not ready. You don't deserve this." Or worse, it'll disguise itself as practicality. Wait until you have more money, more time, more experience. Chosen one, that's a trap. The old life thrives on delay, but the new life thrives on obedience. Remember Peter, who stepped out of the boat to walk on water toward Jesus. Matthew 14:29. The waves were raging, the wind was howling, but he moved anyway. Your new blessing isn't waiting for perfect conditions. It's waiting for your yes. Every step you take in faith shrinks the distance between you and your destiny. Let's anchor this in another story. Meet Daniel, a young man who grew up in a tough neighborhood, surrounded by voices telling him he'd never amount to anything. Deep inside, he felt called to teach, to inspire kids like him to dream bigger, but fear of failure kept him stuck in a dead-end job. One day, he stumbled across a quote from Psalm 32:8. "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." It hit him like a lightning bolt. He wrote down his goal: enroll in a teaching program. He called a former teacher who'd always believed in him, and she connected him with a scholarship opportunity. Then he let go of a toxic friendship that drained his confidence. Within a year, Daniel was in a classroom, changing lives. His move wasn't easy, but it was holy. What's the holy move God is asking of you? Chosen one. God is not just calling you to a new blessing, He's equipping you for it. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan or a perfect resume. You need faith, and faith is the currency of heaven's economy. Hebrews 11:1 tells us faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Your faith is drawing resources to you right now, ideas, people, opportunities that you can't yet see, but are already on their way. Picture a table set before you, overflowing with provision, wisdom, and favor. Just as Psalm 23:5 promises, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That table is yours, but you must rise from the old life to take your seat. Now, let's address the weight of letting go. Leaving the old life behind isn't just about walking away from physical things. It's about releasing mindsets. The mindset that says you're defined by your past mistakes. The mindset that ties your worth to other people's approval. The mindset that keeps you playing small to avoid standing out. These are chains, chosen one, and God is breaking them. But you have to cooperate. When you wrote your goal, reached out to someone, and let go of what no longer serves you, you were breaking those chains. Every act of obedience is a hammer, shattering the old to reveal the new. As you move, you'll feel lighter, freer, more like the person God created you to be. If this message is igniting your spirit, I invite you to declare your commitment to this new season. Type, "I am stepping into my new blessing" in the comments below. Let this be your prophetic act, a signal to heaven that you're ready to leave the old behind and embrace the divine purpose God has for you. Your voice matters, chosen one. It's joining a chorus of thousands who are rising into their prosperous lives. And if you're feeling led, like this video to stand with this community of believers and subscribe to stay anchored in this flow of divine encouragement. Together, we're building a movement of faith, not fear. But what if the old life tries to pull you back? What if the people, habits, or doubts you're leaving behind cling tighter, whispering that you can't do this? That's when you lean into God's strength, not your own. Philippians 4:13 reminds us, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." The old life will always feel familiar, but familiar isn't the same as faithful. God is calling you to a higher standard, a life where your decisions reflect your divine calling, not your past comfort. In the next part of this message, we'll explore how to protect your new blessing and walk boldly in the favor God is releasing. Stay with me, chosen one. The best is yet to come. Chosen one, you're still here, carried by the current of this sacred moment, feeling the pulse of heaven's call to leave the old life behind and step into the new blessing God has prepared. Imagine a vast field stretching before you, golden under a sky painted with promise, each blade of grass whispering your name, urging you to run toward your divine purpose. This is not a time to hesitate, not a time to look back at the shadows of what was. God is saying, move forward. The fears that once held you captive are crumbling, and the path to your prosperous life is unfolding with every step you take. But as you move, you must learn to protect this new blessing, to guard the sacred ground of your spiritual awakening. Are you ready to claim what's yours? The old life, with its doubts and distractions, will not let go easily. It's like an old coat, worn and familiar, but too tattered to keep you warm in the season ahead. You've already taken bold steps, writing your goal, reaching out to someone, letting go of what no longer serves you. These were acts of faith, seeds planted in the soil of your destiny. Now, God is watering those seeds, but the enemy will try to sow weeds of fear, comparison, or regret to choke your breakthrough. This is where your journey shifts from moving to standing firm. Ephesians 6:13 reminds us, "Therefore put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." Your new blessing is a gift, but it's also a responsibility. You must protect it with intention, faith, and discernment. Protecting your blessing starts with guarding your mind. The old life trained you to expect lack, to brace for disappointment, to shrink when the spotlight of opportunity shone too bright. But the new life calls you to think differently. Romans 12:2 urges, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Every time a thought of "I can't" or "it's too late" creeps in, counter it with God's truth. Declare, "I am chosen, I am funded. My God is making a way. Picture your mind as a garden, and you're the gardener, pulling out weeds of doubt and planting seeds of faith. When you wrote your goal, you planted a seed. When you reached out to someone, you watered it. When you let go of what held you back, you cleared the soil. Now, guard that garden fiercely. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Lisa, a woman in her 40s who felt trapped in a cycle of self-doubt after a painful divorce. She dreamed of starting a non-profit to help women rebuild their lives, but fear of judgment kept her silent. One day, inspired by a sermon on God's provision, she took her 3 steps. She wrote her vision for the non-profit, called a friend who worked in community outreach, and let go of a grudge against her ex-husband, praying for his peace. As she moved, she noticed a shift. Her friend connected her with a grant writer, and a local church offered space for her first workshop. But then the old life crept in. Friends questioned her ambition, and her own doubts whispered she wasn't qualified. Lisa protected her blessing by surrounding herself with encouragers, praying daily, and focusing on her vision. Today, her nonprofit serves hundreds of women, a testament to God's divine provision. Lisa's story shows that moving is only half the battle. Guarding your blessing is the other half. Chosen one, God is not just giving you a new blessing. He's teaching you how to steward it. Your prosperous life isn't about fleeting moments of success. It's about building a legacy of faith, impact, and overflow. Think of Joseph, sold into slavery, yet rising to steward Egypt's wealth because he guarded his faith through betrayal and prison. His story in Genesis 50:20 reveals the power of God's plan. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Your new blessing isn't just for you, it's for the lives you'll touch, the dreams you'll inspire, the generations you'll shift. But to carry it, you must protect your peace, your focus, and your alignment with God's purpose. How do you do that practically? Stay rooted in the 3 steps you've already taken. Keep your goal visible. Put that piece of paper where you see it daily, a reminder of your commitment to your destiny. Nurture the connection you made. Check in with that person you reached out to, not just for what they can offer, but to build a relationship grounded in mutual growth. And continue letting go, not just once, but daily, releasing small habits or thoughts that pull you back to the old life. These steps aren't a checklist, they're a rhythm, a way of living that keeps you aligned with your spiritual awakening. Beyond that, surround yourself with voices that lift you up. Distance yourself from those who sow doubt or drain your energy. As Proverbs 4:23 advises, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. But what about the moments when the old life feels tempting? When the familiarity of struggle calls you back, or when someone from your past tries to pull you into old patterns? This is where discernment becomes your shield. Not every opportunity is divine, and not every voice is from God. Picture a lighthouse, standing firm against crashing waves, its beam cutting through the fog. That's you, chosen one, anchored in God's truth, unshaken by the storms of distraction. When in doubt, pause and pray. Ask, does this align with the new blessing God promised? If it pulls you back to fear or lack, let it go. If it sparks peace or purpose, step toward it. Your faith journey is a dance with divine timing, and God is leading. Let's anchor this in another truth. The new blessing God is releasing isn't just about what you receive, it's about who you become. The old life shaped a version of you that survived, but the new life is shaping a version that thrives. Imagine a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, wings unfolding in the sunlight, no longer crawling but soaring. That's you, chosen one, shedding the weight of the past to rise into your personal transformation. As you protect your blessing, you'll notice changes. Your voice carries more authority. Your decisions reflect more clarity. Your heart feels lighter. This is God's promise in Isaiah 40:31. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Your strength is being renewed, not for survival, but for flight. If this message is resonating deep in your spirit, I invite you to proclaim your readiness for this new season. Type, "I am guarding my new blessing" in the comments below. Let this be your declaration, a bold signal to heaven that you're committed to stewarding the divine provision God is pouring out. Your voice is joining thousands of chosen souls who are rising together, building a community of faith and abundance. And if you haven't yet, like this video to stand with us and subscribe to stay connected to this sacred flow of encouragement. Your subscription is a step toward anchoring your prosperous life in God's truth. But what if the new blessing feels too big, too overwhelming? What if the dreams God is stirring in your heart seem impossible from where you stand? That's when you lean into the truth that God's plan is not limited by your circumstances. In the next part of this message, we'll explore how to embrace the magnitude of your calling and walk boldly in the favor that's already chasing you. Stay with me, chosen one. Your divine moment is closer than you think. Chosen one, you're still standing in this sacred space, feeling the warmth of heaven's light wrapping around you like a mantle, urging you to keep moving toward the new blessing God has prepared. Picture a mountain peak, its summit bathed in golden rays, calling you to climb higher, to see the vastness of your divine purpose from a new vantage point. You've left the old life behind, taken bold steps, writing your goal, reaching out to someone, letting go of what no longer serves you, and now you're guarding this precious gift with faith and discernment. But as you rise, the magnitude of God's plan may feel daunting, like a dream too grand for your hands to hold. Let me assure you, the size of your calling is not a burden, it's a promise. God says it's time to embrace the fullness of your destiny and walk boldly in the favor chasing you. Are you ready to receive it? The new blessing God is releasing is not a small thing. It's not a temporary fix or a fleeting moment of relief. It's a divine shift, a holy reordering of your life that touches every corner. Your finances, your relationships, your peace, your purpose. Imagine a tapestry woven with threads of gold, each strand representing a promise from God. Abundance, clarity, impact, joy. This tapestry is your prosperous life, and God is inviting you to step into it, not as a visitor, but as its rightful heir. But to claim it, you must release the mindset that says, "This is too big for me." Deuteronomy 1:11 declares, "May the Lord, the God of your ancestors, increase you 1,000 times and bless you as he has promised." God's blessings are not measured by your capacity. They're measured by his faithfulness. Let's address the fear that whispers, "I'm not enough for this." Chosen one, that lie has no place in your new season. The old life taught you to measure yourself by your limitations, your past failures, your lack of resources, the opinions of others. But the new life measures you by God's truth. You are not defined by what you've lacked, but by who you belong to. As Psalm 139:14 reminds us, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." God crafted you with intention, wiring you for impact, equipping you for this very moment. The dreams stirring in your heart, the business, the ministry, the book, the legacy aren't accidents. They're divine assignments, and God is funding them with his limitless resources. To make this real, let's look at a story. There was a man named James, a mechanic in his 30s, who felt a deep call to mentor at-risk youth in his community. The vision overwhelmed him. He had no formal training, no extra money, and a schedule packed with overtime shifts. But one evening, after praying for courage, he took his 3 steps. He wrote down his goal to start a weekly mentorship group, called a local youth center to volunteer, and let go of his habit of overworking, trusting God for financial provision. As he moved, doors opened. The youth center offered him a small grant to fund supplies, and a co-worker volunteered to help. James doubted himself, wondering if he was qualified, but he remembered Philippians 1:6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Today, James mentors dozens of teens, his program growing beyond his wildest dreams. His story proves that God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Chosen one. Your calling is not too big. It's exactly the size God designed for you. The key is to embrace it, one step at a time. You've already started with your 3 steps, keeping your goal visible, nurturing your divine connection, and releasing what pulls you back. Now, protect this momentum by staying anchored in faith. When the vision feels overwhelming, break it into small, faithful actions. If you dream of starting a business, research one idea today. If you're called to write, draft 1 paragraph. If you want to heal a relationship, send 1 kind message. These small steps are not insignificant. They're sacred, each one a brick in the foundation of your personal transformation. As Zechariah 4:10 says, "Who dares despise the day of small beginnings?" Your small beginnings are pregnant with divine potential. But what about the favor chasing you? God's favor is not something you earn, it's something you receive. Picture it like a river, flowing toward you, carrying resources, opportunities, and connections you didn't orchestrate. Psalm 5:12 promises, "Surely, Lord, you bless the righteous, you surround them with your favor as with a shield." This favor is already at work, even when you can't see it. It's the unexpected scholarship that covers your course. It's the stranger who offers to mentor you. It's the peace that settles your heart when the world feels chaotic. Your job is to recognize it, to say yes to it, to walk in it with bold expectation. When you move in faith, favor follows, opening doors no one can shut. Let's talk about how to walk in this favor practically. Stay open to divine interruptions, those moments that seem random but feel significant. A phone call, an invitation, a sudden idea. Pause and pray before dismissing them. They might be God's way of guiding you. Surround yourself with people who see your light, who speak life into your dreams. If someone in your circle constantly criticizes or doubts you, lovingly set boundaries. Your new blessing thrives in an atmosphere of faith, not fear. And keep your heart soft, even when the world tempts you to harden it. Forgive those who've hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because your destiny requires a free heart. As you guard your blessing and walk in favor, you'll see God's promises manifest in ways that defy logic. Here's another story to inspire you. Maria, a graphic designer, felt stuck in a job that stifled her creativity. She sensed God calling her to freelance, to use her art for His glory, but fear of financial instability kept her tethered. One day she took her 3 steps. She wrote her goal to launch a freelance portfolio, emailed a former client about a project, and let go of her habit of scrolling social media, replacing it with prayer. As she moved, favor followed. The client hired her for a major project, and another connected her with a non-profit needing a designer. Maria's fear of not enough faded as she saw God's provision unfold. Today, her freelance business thrives. creating art that inspires faith. Maria's small steps invited God's big favor. What small step will you take to invite yours? Chosen one, you're not just stepping into a new blessing, you're becoming a living testimony of God's faithfulness. The world needs your light, your gifts, your courage. The old life taught you to hide, but the new life calls you to shine. Matthew 5:16 urges, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Your breakthrough isn't just for you, it's for the people God will touch through you. The business you start, the story you tell, the love you share. It's all part of a divine ripple effect, shifting atmospheres and breaking generational chains. You're not just blessed, you're a blessing. If this message is stirring your soul, I invite you to declare your boldness in this new season. Type, "I am walking in God's favor" in the comments below. Let this be your prophetic yes, a signal to heaven that you're ready to embrace the magnitude of your calling. Your voice joins thousands of chosen souls rising together, building a community of faith, purpose, and abundance. And if you haven't yet, like this video to stand with us and subscribe to stay anchored in this sacred flow of divine encouragement. Your subscription is a commitment to your spiritual awakening. But what if the favor feels too good to be true? What if the promises God is whispering seem too big for the life you've known? That's when you lean into the truth that God's plans are always bigger than your imagination. In the next part of this message, we'll explore how to live with holy expectation, trusting God's timing and stepping into the overflow He's prepared. Stay with me, chosen one. Your divine moment is unfolding now. Chosen one, you're standing in the radiance of this divine moment, your heart open, your spirit ablaze with the truth that God is calling you to leave the old life behind and embrace the new blessing He has prepared. Picture a vast ocean before you, its waves shimmering with promises of abundance, each crest carrying whispers of your divine purpose. You've taken bold steps, writing your goal, reaching out to someone, letting go of what no longer serves you, and you're guarding this sacred gift with faith and discernment. You're walking in God's favor, recognizing the signs of His provision and embracing the magnitude of your calling. Now, as we draw this message to a close, it's time to live with holy expectation, to step fully into the overflow of your prosperous life. This is not the end. It's the beginning of your divine destiny. Are you ready to soar? Holy expectation is not wishful thinking. It's a posture of faith, a confident trust that God's promises are already in motion, even when you can't see the full picture. Imagine a seed buried in the earth, invisible yet alive, its roots stretching toward water, its sprout pressing toward sunlight. That's your faith right now, chosen one. Alive, growing, reaching for the breakthrough God has ordained. Hebrews 11:6 reminds us, without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. Your earnest seeking, through prayer, obedience, and bold steps, has activated heaven's reward. The overflow is coming, not as a trickle, but as a flood of divine provision, clarity, and purpose. What does this overflow look like? It's not just financial freedom, though money may come. It's not just open doors, though opportunities will arise. It's a life where every area aligns with God's plan. Your work reflects your calling, your relationships honor your light, your heart rests in peace that surpasses understanding. Picture a cup, not just filled, but overflowing, its abundance spilling onto everyone around you. Psalm 23:5 declares, "You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows." This is your reality now, chosen one. The old life of scraping by, of shrinking to fit, of surviving on crumbs is over. You're stepping into a season where God's blessings overtake you, where your faith draws miracles like a magnet. But living with holy expectation means trusting God's timing, not your own. The old life taught you to rush, to force doors open, to panic when things didn't happen on your schedule. The new life teaches you to rest in divine timing. Think of Sarah in Genesis, who waited decades for the promise of a child. Her laughter of doubt turned to laughter of joy when Isaac was born, proving God's timing is perfect. Or consider the Israelites who wandered 40 years before entering the promised land. Their delay was not denial, it was preparation. Your delays, chosen one, have been preparation too. Every closed door, every unanswered prayer, every moment of waiting has been God aligning the pieces of your destiny. Ecclesiastes 3:11 assures us, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Your beautiful time is now. Let's ground this in a final story. Meet Aisha, a young woman who felt trapped in a corporate job that drained her soul. She dreamed of opening a community center for immigrant families, a place of hope and connection. Fear of failure and financial strain kept her stuck, but one day, a sermon on God's provision sparked a fire in her. She took her 3 steps. She wrote a detailed plan for the center, called a local nonprofit leader for advice, and let go of her habit of overthinking, replacing it with daily prayer. As she moved, favor followed. An unexpected grant, a donated space, volunteers who shared her vision. But the waiting tested her. Months passed, with setbacks and doubt crept in. Aisha chose holy expectation, praying, God, I trust your timing. One day, a city official attended her small fundraiser and pledged major funding. Today, Aisha's center serves hundreds, a beacon of God's overflow. Her story shows that expectation, paired with obedience, unlocks miracle. Chosen one, your overflow is not a distant hope, it's a present reality. The 3 steps you've taken are not the end, but the foundation of a lifestyle. Keep your goal alive, revisiting it with prayer, letting it evolve as God reveals more. Nurture your divine connection, building relationships that fuel your purpose, and continue releasing what doesn't align, whether it's a mindset, a habit, or a relationship. These steps are your rhythm, keeping you in sync with God's plan. But beyond them, live with boldness. Say yes to opportunities that scare you. Speak your truth with love. Give generously, knowing your source is endless. As you do, you'll see God's favor manifest in ways that defy explanation. Bills paid unexpectedly, ideas that spark success, peace that anchors you in storm. Now let's address one final lie the old life may whisper. You don't deserve this. Chosen one, your worth is not based on your past or your performance. It's based on God's love. Ephesians 2:8 reminds us, for it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God. Your new blessing is a gift, not a reward you earned. You don't have to prove yourself worthy, you only have to receive it with open hands. Picture a child running to their father arms wide, trusting they'll be caught. That's you, running to God, trusting His promises. The overflow, financial freedom, spiritual awakening, personal transformation is yours because He loves you. As we close, know that this is not goodbye, but a launching point. You're not just leaving the old life behind, you're stepping into a legacy. Your choices now will ripple through generations, breaking cycles of lack, fear, and doubt. You're building something sacred, not just for yourself, but for those who'll follow. Isaiah 61:7 promises, instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. and instead of disgrace you will rejoice in your inheritance. Your inheritance is here, chosen one, a life of purpose, provision, and power. Walk in it with holy expectation, knowing God is with you, His angels surrounding you, His favor chasing you. If this message has set your spirit ablaze, I invite you to seal this moment with a declaration. Type, "I am living in God's overflow" in the comments below. Let this be your bold yes to the prosperous life God has prepared, joining thousands of chosen souls in this sacred movement. If this video has stirred your soul, consider supporting our mission through super thanks to help spread this divine provision to more hearts. And if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to stay connected to this flow of faith and encouragement. Together, we're rising into our divine destinies. Now, let's seal this moment with a prayer, a sacred communion with the one who called you. Wherever you are, pause, breathe, and let your heart lean into His presence. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, the one who sees every tear, hears every prayer, and holds every promise, we come before you with hearts wide open. Thank you for this holy moment, for speaking to us, for calling us out of the old and into the new. You are Jehovah Jireh, our provider, and we trust your perfect timing. Lord, we lift up every chosen one listening, those who felt stuck, afraid, or unworthy. Break the chains of the old life. Pour out your favor, your provision, your peace. Let their steps, writing their goal, reaching out, letting go, bear fruit that glorifies you. Father, we declare that we are not defined by our past, but by your purpose. We receive your overflow, abundance in our finances, clarity in our minds, joy in our hearts. Teach us to live with holy expectation, to trust your timing, to walk in boldness. Surround us with divine connections, protect us from distraction, and let your favor be our shield. We forgive those who've hurt us. Release what holds us back and step fully into the prosperous life you've designed. Lord, let our lives be testimonies of your faithfulness, shifting atmospheres, breaking generational curses, and drawing others to your light. We seal this prayer in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Thank you, chosen one, for walking this journey with me. You didn't just watch a video, you stepped into a divine encounter. Keep moving, keep trusting, keep shining. Until next time, live in God's overflow, knowing heaven is cheering you on. Be blessed.